Hi, this is Real Killer GM, and you're listening to Tale of the Manticore.
The following podcast is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Tale of the Manticore, Season 2. Like the creature from which it takes its name, Tale of the Manticore is a mashup, a crossbreeding between two different species of storytelling. Here you will find the unpredictability of old-school RPG paper and dice games with the storycraft of a dark fantasy novel. No character is sacred, and no character will be spared if the dice decide their fate is at hand. According to lore, the tail of a manticore is barbed with cruel iron spikes. There will be much pain in the days ahead. Last time on Tale of the Manticore. In Chapter 73, the PCs find their way blocked by a horrible creature, a giant humanoid toad demon called the Hezro. Yellowfly considers giving up and going back, but his companions, it turns out, wish to continue, each for their own reasons. The Hezro is at the bottom of a large pit, where it lazes about, feeding on carrion. Perhaps because it has only one eye, it has not yet noticed them, but that changes when the party sneaks forward, led by Shawnee, successfully covering half the distance undetected before the succubus, Sivan, materializes near the entrance and gives them away. Luckily for the party, the Hezro is momentarily surprised, and they take advantage of the few extra seconds. Catsbane dispatches the succubus with his last magic missile. Jace rushes down to the bottom of the pit, intending to engage the demon in melee. Bazu raises his holy symbol. Yellowfly leaps from a height of 25 feet onto the monster below, and Shawnee creeps up from behind to attempt a backstab. I am itching to get into this fight, but it would be foolish to do that without first leveling up the two characters who are due a promotion today. Both Yellowfly and Catsbane will increase in power, with the former attaining level 9 and the latter 8. Let's do Yellowfly first. A fighter gets a D8 of new hit points. Rolling for that. A 6 is a great roll, and the new score is 38 of 50. His basic attack bonus remains at +5, and although part of me wants to tinker with this, I'm just going to leave it rules as written this time. Saving throws likewise do not change, and so that brings us to potential attribute improvements. Let's dive in. A 6 on a d6 means the stat in question will increase by 1 point. Strength. A 1. Intelligence. 5. Wisdom. I've got a 4. How about dexterity? A 5. Constitution. A 3. Last chance here. Charisma. A 1. Looks like the hit points are all he's gonna get. It certainly could have been worse. That hit point roll was a good one, after all, and I could be grateful for that. And with Yellowfly done, we're on to Catsbane. The young magic user gets a d4 of new hit points. Rolling. I've got a 2. Pretty unspectacular, but them's the breaks. The new total is 19 of 23. Like with Yellowfly, his basic attack bonus and saving throws do not change, but he still has the chance to win stat increases. Let's see how it goes. Strength. A 1. Intelligence. 6. Finally, and right where it counts too. 15 goes to 16. The rules would award him another language here, but of course that doesn't make sense for this story, and so we are moving on. Wisdom. 1. Dexterity. 3. Constitution. This would be nice. A 5. Charisma. A 4. Well, not amazing, but not awful. Last up is a new spell. Catsbane can roll for another 4th level spell, but he will not be able to use it until he copies it into his spellbook. Even then, unless he reads it right off the page like a scroll, he won't be able to cast it until it's memorized. Let's roll to see what spell it will be. As usual, if I roll one already assigned to a PC in either season of the show, I'll make a new exotic spell table. Rolling a d12 against the list in the OSE SRD. An 11 is, let me see, Wall of Ice. Interesting. Well, I won't bother reading the spell description until later, as, realistically, chances are it'll never come into play. Okay, level ups are done, so let's unfreeze the frame, get into the narrative, and see how this combat will play out. Chapter 74, Part 1, Day 184. Time, unknown. 1 hour and 45 minutes of lantern fuel remains. Party status, Yellowfly, 38 of 50 hit points. Shawnee, 30 of 35. Jace, 33 of 38. Catsbane, 19 of 23. Bazu, 21 of 23. Spells available. Catsbane has memorized Detect Magic, Web, Mirror Image, Haste, Slow, and Dimension Door. Bazu has prayed for Cure Light Wounds, Light, Bless, Locate Object, and Cure Serious Wounds. Entering combat. Apologies for having ended the last episode just when things were heating up, but I suspect that this encounter will take some time, and that is something I had really run out of. Let's give this combat the space it deserves. We begin in the same surprise round, where I hit the pause button. Catsbane has already taken his action, slaying Sivan with a magic missile. Jace is running to engage the demon face to face, and needs to spend his turn getting to it. Yellowfly has recklessly leapt onto the demon. He's on a ledge 25 feet above the ground, 12 feet above the demon's head. I'm going to improvise a ruling here, something that takes into account risk and reward. I think a +1 to hit and +4 to damage feels about right. To balance that out, if Yellowfly misses, he will take 2 to 12 points of falling damage. He'll need a 10 or better to hit the Hezro's AC of 21. Here's the roll. A 6. Oh no, that's a miss. Falling damage is the price of failure. Rolling 2d6. 7 points. The Hezro swats the fighter away mid-air, and Fly hits the cavern floor hard. He has 31 hit points left. Hopefully, Shawnee will do better. Before she can even make an attempt, she'll need to save versus poison just to get close to the demon. The stink coming off it is that powerful. The number to beat is 9. Rolling. A 15. She holds her breath, rushes up, and strikes. With all bonuses, including the +4 for the backstab, she needs to get an 11 to hit. The roll. Come on, Shawnee. 19. Yes. Does she not always deliver? Damage will be doubled because of the backstab, so that's 1d6 +1 times 2. Rolling. Rats. I've got a 1 on the die. That means damage will be just 4 points. She gets her blade in, but the demon's rubbery skin is much thicker and tougher than she thought it would be. The Hezro now has 40 hit points. Bazu is the last to go. He raises his holy symbol, determined to succeed where he previously failed. This demon he would not suffer to remain in the presence of Sadal's divine might. Turns out, that's easier said than done, and unless he gets a 9 or higher on 2d6, he will fail again. A 5 on the dice. The demon, with its one good eye, looks up at the cleric and his shining holy symbol, but instead of being repulsed, it laughs in Bazu's face with slime dripping from its lower lip like a beard. That's it for the surprise round. I'll call it a mixed success. It certainly could have gone better, but things will get a lot harder for the PCs when they find out that melee is not the best way to deal with a Hezro. It is round 1. Initiative. The Hezro. A 2. The party. A 4. Well, that was lucky. Yellowfly is quick to regain his feet, and then he, Shawnee, and Jace have the demon surrounded, with both Bazu and Catsbane looking down from the ledge above. Yellowfly must save versus poison before he can attack. A 10 on the die or better is needed. A 2. As soon as he gets up, he doubles over and vomits all over his feet. Jace will need to save as well. His target is a 12. Another 2. The stink is so strong, it's almost tangible. Jace's eyes water and his stomach turns. Shawnee, with a 17, makes her save, but still needs a 15 or better to land a blow. A 5 is not enough, and the demon steps out of reach. Bazu realizes that his companions are going to need his healing powers, so he spends his turn running down the ledge, following the path Jace took last round. That leaves Catsbane. He needs to make a big move here. What about the spell Haste? Would that work in this situation? Since the rules do not specify, I did some research online to see if the spell affects all creatures in the radius of effect, or if the caster can choose who is hasted and who isn't. Everything I read indicates the latter. Yeah, he's gonna cast it. Even hasted, the companions should not get 2 saves to resist the demon's stink. But to be fair to my PCs, I should allow Bazu a second action, and Shanae, who successfully made her save, a second attack. So, Bazu will not join the melee, but he will run up to Yellowfly and cast Cure Light Wounds on him. The fighter regains 5 hit points. Shanae's second attack is next. A 13 is close, but not good enough. Now it's the Hezro's turn. The demon is smart enough to recognize the wizard for who he is, and the threat he presents. Even if it knows Azor Azul's wish to spare him, I don't think it's going to honor that wish. It'll use telekinesis to try to rip Catsbane off the ledge and fling him to the cavern floor at its feet. Before I roll Catsbane's save to resist, I need to see if the Dagger of Negation will shield him from the demon's magic. Looking for a 30 or under on D percentile here. 55. That's no good. Catsbane must now make a saving throw or be yanked from his perch above the fight. As an 8th level magic user, the target number is 12. Rolling. A 14. Whew. Catsbane utters a quick counterspell and wards off the arcane energies surging up at him. It is round 2. Initiative. The Hezro. A 1. The party. A 5. Lucky with the initiative again. Thanks to Catsbane's haste spell, all PCs will now get 2 actions per round, though the rules do say hasted spellcasters may only cast 1 spell on their turn. Fair enough. I'm ruling that those in melee will only get 1 save per round against the demon's stench. Pass or fail, all or nothing. Yellowfly, invigorated by the cleric behind him, tries to rise. But a 4 means he is unable to do so. Jace 2 will try to find the strength to close with the monster. A 19 will do it. He forces himself into striking distance and his sword flashes out. He'll need an 18 to hit. Can he do it with 2 attempts? A 6 and a 2. The Hezro shoves the warrior back, and Jace, unable to find purchase, slides through the piles of offal and bones. Shanae is up. Come on, Shanae. Let's get another win. Here's her save. A 14 is more than enough. And her 2 attacks? A 15 and a 17. From her perspective, time seems to slow down as Catsbane's spell imbues her with preternatural speed. The Sentinel darts in once and again for 6 and 4. That's 12 points of damage after adding the sword's bonus. The savage smile crosses the rogue's face as black goo spurts from 2 puncture wounds in the demon's thigh. Bazu is going to get into this melee. I think that's his best move right now. He's safe to withstand the stink. A 1. Yikes. Thankfully, you can't crit fail a save. The cleric suddenly feels bile rise in his throat and then falls to the ground, right beside Yellowfly, retching. Catsbane will go last. I wonder, could he cast Slow on the demon? I don't see why not, though it's very unlikely to work given the demon's magic resistance and easy saving throw. But I think he's going to try anyway. The Hezro's magic resistance is 55%, so I want to roll above that. Here comes the roll. A 9. The spell fizzles out as soon as it strikes the monster and is wasted. Too bad. It would have been so cool to see both of those spells working in concert. I guess we're doing things the hard way. Speaking of which, it's the Hezro's turn to act. Since the others are incapacitated, it makes sense for it to attack Shanae, and it only needs a 7 to hit her AC of 14, with Claw, Claw, Bite. The rolls. 7. 13. And I'm wincing as I make this next roll. A 19. Oh no! That's 3 hits! The Hezro grabs the thief, lifts her up, and shoves her into its mouth. It rears back, and she is turned upside down, with her head in its throat, and only her kicking legs visible. Damage will be bad. 2 points, 2 points, and 8 points is 12, and Shanae is now almost down to half, with 18 remaining. At this point, I'm going to use an old coach's trick and call a timeout to break the other team's momentum. A quick ad break before we continue.
Roll for distraction with the Paladins of Podcast as they valiantly entertain. Grab your +2 headphones and tune in. We promise it's not a critical fail. Side quests, available wherever you get podcasts. The best quests have detours.
We are back, and it is round 3. Initiative, the Hezro. 5, the party. The 6, third time lucky at initiative, and the companions had better not waste it. While the demon is busy trying to eat Shawnee whole, Yellowfly tries to find the strength to help, and... a 15, he does. 2 chances to hit, looking for anything over an 11. An 8 and a 16, 1 strike gets through. The Silverthorn, white hot in its eagerness to hurt the demon, draws a burning slash across its back.
Let her go!
1d8 plus 5 damage will be... come on, big money. The 3 plus 5 is 8 points. The Hezro gags Shawnee onto the floor in a torrent of thick saliva. It is now below half and must make a morale check, but not just yet. Jace has not taken his turn, rolling to withstand the demon's stench. A 19 is a success. Jace gets 2 attacks, and his normal sword can hurt this demon. Still, the target number is high, 18. Rolling twice. 14 and 18. 1 blow connects and does 6 points. Yeah! The demon falls to 1 knee, then rises back up just as Bazu moves in with his staff. But with a 5, the cleric drops to his hands and knees, with his throat burning, unable to stop the violent retching. Shawnee, her hair plastered to her head with slime and digestive juices, can attempt to fight back. A 16 makes the save, and she gets to her feet, swinging her sword two-handed as the world around her plods along at half speed. She needs a 15 to land a blow. Oh, a 15 and a 16. How lucky is that? Damage will be... not much. I rolled a 1 and a 2. After bonuses, it's 5 points. But the Hezro is in bad shape regardless, with only 9 hit points left. Catsbane is the last to go. He isn't going to waste another spell, so he'll throw his normal dagger. He has a little dexterity bonus, but will still need an 18 or better to hit. Also, since he has only 1 normal dagger, and will not risk throwing Carrix, it'll just be the single chance. A 19! What? 1 point of damage. Well, every bit counts. It's the Hezro's turn now. The monster manual provides no morale stats, so I'm assigning it a score of 10. Rolling 2d6, and on an 11 or 12, it will flee or surrender. A 3, not even close. In fact, it is enraged, and the hasted companions see its grotesque toad face twist in insane fury as it roars in challenge, raking at its own flesh with its clawed hands. It is round 4, the Hezro. A 5, the party. A 3, the demon will use telekinesis to pick up 2 of them and launch them against the far wall of the cavern on the other side of the pool. Targets will be randomly determined. It's Shawnee and Jace. Each will need to make a save or else take 2d6 damage from the impact and lose their chance to retaliate. Shawnee needs a 10 or better. A 4. She fails and is plucked struggling into the air before being hurled against the wall. Ooh, 9 points of damage upon impact. She is badly hurt now. It's Jace's turn. He needs to roll at least a 14. A 12. He too is ripped off his feet and slammed into the cave wall beside Shawnee. He takes 6 points of damage. Now it's the companion's turn. Catsbane spends his round running down the ledge to the cabin floor, while staying well clear of the demon. Conversely, a somewhat stunned Jace picks himself up and starts making his way back across the pool and towards the Hezro. Shawnee wisely decides to fight from a distance at this point and unshoulders her bow. That leaves Yellowfly and Bazu. Fly's save versus poison roll is... a 7. Once again he stumbles, unable to breathe in the cloud of rot and death. Bazu has been so far unable to even get close, but he will try again. A 19 means he finds the strength to rise. Unfortunately, he'll need another 19 to hit with his quarterstaff. Even with 2 attacks, it'd take a miracle. Rolling. A 3 and a 6. No good. That's it for round 4, and it was not a good one for the PCs. Let's hope for better in round 5. Initiative. The Hezro. A 6. The party. A 1. The Hezro has broken the companion's momentum. High-low to see if it uses a normal attack. High will mean it does. Low, it'll use telekinesis again, this time on Yellowfly and Bazoo. Let's make it interesting. High-low to see if it slams them like it did Shawnee and Jace, or if it throws them into the pool, which would be extremely dangerous for either man due to the weight of their armor. Low will indicate the pool. Rolling. High. Okay, now I've just had a devilish idea. If not water, then how about fire? The Hezro will fling Yellowfly and Bazoo against one of the 3 large braziers, or at least it'll try to. A save to resist is allowed. Fly needs a 12 or better. A 1. He is plucked into the air by an invisible force and then zips sideways into the side of the bronze brazier.
What?
I'm going to rule damage will be 2d6 plus 2. Ouch! 10 points. That takes the fighter down to just 26. Now for Bazoo. His saving throw target is the same. A 3. He goes for a bad ride too, and impacts the brazier at the same time as Fly, ringing it like a gong, and spilling a hot shower of embers in all directions. He takes 9 points of damage, and has just 12 remaining. The demon, now standing alone, rises to its full height, lifts its arms in the air, and pounds its chest like a gorilla, all the while bellowing at the companions, who are now divided and at other ends of the cavern. A brazier nearby lights it from underneath a hellish orange that glistens on its slimy skin. Then it turns to Shawnee and Jace and starts lumbering towards them, stomping through the fish carcasses in the way. Shawnee responds with 2 arrows, while Jace hefts his shield, ready to re-enter the fray. Shawnee is very good with a bow, and only needs a 14 to hit, rolling twice. 16 and 6. That's 1 hit. A single arrow pierces the thick neck for 3 points. The demon drips black blood, but in its fury, it does not even seem to notice the new wound. What the demon did to Bazoo and Fly gave Catsbane an idea, and he acts before Jace can rush in. The mage casts the spell Web, using the demon and the brazier closest to it as anchor points. Because he does not target the demon directly, magic resistance will not come into play. He throws up a hand, utters the arcane words, and sticky tendrils shoot up from the ground, one after another, linking the demon to the flaming bowl. Immediately, the many strands catch fire, and seconds later, the demon is engulfed in flame. I need to check the monster manual again before I assign burning damage, as I suspect the demon will be immune or resistant. Hang tight. Okay, the book says it'll take half damage from fire. I expected as much, but it will still take some damage. According to the spell's description, a web will burn for 2 rounds, and anyone caught inside will take a d6 each round. Rolling. Half of 4 is 2. It's not much, but it brings the Hezro down to just 3 hit points. Jace stops in his tracks, not keen to engage a flaming demon in melee. So that brings us to round 6. Initiative. The Hezro. A 1. The party. A 5. The demon would be blinded by smoke and fire, so this makes a certain amount of sense. Let's start with Shawnee, who looses 2 more arrows for her turn. She needs a 14 or better. An 11 and 17. There's 1 hit in there. This could be it. Rolling damage. 3 points is just enough. She puts the arrow right in the demon's eye, and, still ablaze, it totters and then falls backwards to the cave floor, where it erupts in purple flames. When all the smoke has dissipated and the little bits of smoldering web have gone out, the only thing that remains is a cracked ball of black glass about the size of a fist. Despite Bazoo's warning not to go near it, Shawnee was crouched down, prodding it with the tip of her sword. "It's the eye," she said. Her own voice sounded too sharp, bright, and fast in her ears. Everything did. After the demon fell, Catsbane ended his quickening spell, and the world had seemed to accelerate all around her. The magic user was over by the succubus's skull.
All that remains of the other one is over here.
He looked up at his companions. Every one of them was injured, Shawnee badly so, while he remained almost untouched. This realization was uncomfortable, and something had just occurred to him besides. So he pulled a book from his pack and opened it, flipping through the pages until he found what he was looking for. Zygog's Pantology Demonium had a chapter concerning the death of demons. A quick scan of the text confirmed his fears.
I do fear that these beings are not, in fact, truly dead.
He told the others without looking up. What do you mean, not dead? Yellowfly looked incredulous.
Well, according to this book, demons can only truly be destroyed on their own plane of existence. I believe that we have only banished them for, well, it says for 1 century. Then they can return.
A century is a long time, and it must mean we have not left our own world, said Shawnee with an insight Catsbane wouldn't have expected. But she was not entirely correct. It only meant that they were not currently in the abyss. It did not mean that they were still on the prime material plane. Still, Catsbane decided not to gainsay her, and instead replied with a nod and a wan smile. He returned his attention to the book, skimming ahead until he found another passage.
Ah, here it is.
He put a finger on the page and traced the words as he read them.
It is possible to keep them away for longer. However, certain items are required.
Thanks for listening to Tale of the Manticore. If you've enjoyed the show and would like to help to support it, there are so many ways to do so. You can recommend it online or to friends. You can like and repost episode announcements on social media. You can pick up One Shot in the Dark, the Pendulum World Building Tool, or Encyclopedia Manticorica on DriveThruRPG. And finally, you can rate or review the show on your podcatcher of choice. Any and all of these things really helps the show, and I really appreciate it. Speaking of appreciation, at this point I'd like to read one of your kind reviews. This one was left by PowerCore on Apple Podcasts. PowerCore writes, John and cast do an excellent job balancing action with roleplay and exposition. Cole's fate still hits hard, and the Goddard estate will always hold a special place in my heart. I look forward to whatever the next chapter will be, and however the dice land. Love the show, and thanks for the hard work. When I first read this comment, I wondered, why does the Goddard estate hold a special place for you? But then I saw that this handle belongs to the amazing Dread Maps, and then it all made sense. Dread Maps does a spectacular job of bringing the Goddard estate to vivid and detailed life through his art form as a battle map compatible with the Foundry VTT. If you'd like to see it in all its glory, visit dreadmaps.itch.io/GODDARD-estate. Thanks both for the wonderful review and for your inspiring work, Dread Maps. I'd also like to thank my excellent voice talent. As this is a combat-focused episode, the only dialogue belongs to Catsbane, voiced as always by Kyellen. Thank you so much, Kyellen. Catsbane just wouldn't be Catsbane without you. For listeners who would like to get in touch with me, I'm at Manticore Tale on X or Tale of the Manticore Podcast on Instagram. And there's always email, taleofthemanticore@gmail.com. Finally, I keep a blog where I post all kinds of show and RPG-related stuff, like art, maps, tables, crafts, and show notes. You can find it at taleofthemanticore.blogspot.com. The adventure will continue on the next episode of Tale of the Manticore, the story where chaos rolls.
Welcome to the advertisement for the Red Caps podcast, an advertisement where we dip our caps into the blood of a fellow podcaster's listeners and ramble on about old school games. If you think you'd enjoy short 10 to 15 minute tidbits about old school RPGs, occasionally some interviews, once in a while a product review delivered directly into your ear, then I need you to realize that no mortal can outrun a Red Cap. And instead, you should jump over to your favorite podcasting app of choice and search for the Red Caps podcast. You can also find us at www.theredcaps.net. Remember, never let your caps dry out, stay safe, have fun, and I hope to speak to you again soon.